Hey there, I'm Curly, and welcome to Unfiltered and Undiscovered, the podcast where three music lifers dig into the songs, the stories, and the legends of music that may not have crossed your radar yet. But if you're new here, let me set the scene. I'm the punter, the guy who swears that the best music, the best Australian independent music, was in 1986. I've got the record collection to prove it. Now, joining me each week, I've got Braggy. He's a lifelong muso, a dreamer that's still waiting for that one song of his to go viral. He knows his stuff and he loves digging into lyrics. And of course, we've got Rossi, the roadie, the manager, and the guy with a story about every band that's ever plugged into a pub PA system anywhere from Perth to Parramatta. Together, we get unfiltered with the best undiscovered artists across Australia and occasionally the world. And occasionally, we also talk a whole lot of rubbish around artists that we already love. Let's get into it.
Hey y'all, I'm Alison Asarch from Nashville, Tennessee.
Hey, I'm Sean Fraser from the Ritzy Kids Hunters.
This is Johnny from Rail Motor.
Hey, it's Shane from Blind Season.
Hey, it's Rob Stanier, and you can check out my music on all the streaming platforms.
Check out my latest music on all the streaming sites.
Check out my debut album on all streaming platforms.
Check out our new debut album.
Check us out on Spotify and Apple Music. And you're listening to our friends, Braggy and Curly.
My favorite bands from Australia.
You're listening to our friends, Braggy, Rossi, and Curly
on the
Unfiltered and Undiscovered
podcast.
No worries. Let's get started. Hey there, it's Curly here, and welcome to episode 245 of the Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast, where Curly, Braggy, and Rossi, three mates with one obsession, and that's helping you discover your next favorite artist. Every week, we bring you unfiltered chats with independent musos from Australia and beyond, sharing the stories behind the songs and the music you might never have found. So wherever you're listening or watching, hit subscribe, join our community of music discoverers. Welcome to Australia's home of independent music discovery. We are Unfiltered and Undiscovered. How are you, Rossi? How are you, Braggy?
I'm
good fantastic.
Now. I'm good now, Curly. That's a new intro, Curly.
Yeah,
it is.
New script.
I'm mixing it up. Don't want to get stale, so we do lots of new stuff. We try and keep it fresh, don't we? So a little bit of news. So I know we're running a little bit later tonight, so a little bit of news that I just want to talk about. Good friend of the podcast, for those people that have been listening since way back in the day, Alison Asarch, 7 months. She's had her young one. And she's now back gigging. And I just thought she posted out on Instagram today, and it's awesome to see. So one of our favorite people in Nashville. So good stuff, Al. Good to see you back out there. And Groundwater Country Music Festival announced the first stage of their lineup. And, of course, Groundwater is the free thing that they do down at Broadbeach here on the Gold Coast.
Yep.
And like Casey Chambers, Kaylee Bell, the Wolf Brothers are all headlining. But more importantly, Tyler Rodriguez doing great things. She's on the bill. One of Braggy's favorites, Sweet Talk, is on the bill. And someone from up your way where you are at the moment, Braggy, Josie, is also on the bill so far.
Oh, Josie.
So the bill looks amazing. And normally what they do is they sort of put it in installments. So I think that's round one. So that was pretty awesome. So how was your drive to Townsville, Braggy?
Oh, it was long. Adelaide to Townsville is a long way.
It's
nearly 3,000 Ks. But it was fun. Went through Western Queensland. I'm not sure where our guest is in New South Wales or that's probably in Victoria. But we went to Narrandera first and then Goondiwindi. Had to get over into the Queensland border, Rossi.
Yeah, of course.
And then up to Mackay, where we stay with one of my wife's cousins. And then I've been on the island, Maggie Island, for the last couple of days. But I'm back over here because Robbie's roped me into playing a gig with him on Friday night. So,
Do they have a gun sin museum in Goondiwindi?
yes, they do.
I thought they would. Yeah.
But only people as old as us, Rossi, would know who Gunsind is.
73, she won the cup, didn't she?
The
won
Goondiwindi
the cup.
Grey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, let's welcome in our guest. Ally Paterson is an emerging Australian country folk singer-songwriter from southwest Victoria, Braggie, near Ballarat, known for authentic, lived experience songs rooted in rural Australian life. Welcome to the show, Ally.
Hello, thank you.
Ally, sorry for taking so long to get going here tonight. We had a few technical issues at my end here, but that's because
All right.
Travel around a bit, and I'm always coming from a different spot. Usually I get the first question, so that's why the boys, I guess, have waited for me. And we like to know on this podcast, what's your story so far? Like, when did music first become a thing for you? When did you first go, oh my God, this thing, music, I want to do it?
That's a good question. I have a musical family, so it's been part of my life ever since I was little. My dad was a classical guitarist in his younger days, but he gave that up to be a businessman. But I think as my siblings and I got a bit older, I think he was living vicariously through us a little bit and was very encouraging of our musical endeavors. And even if I was up, at a school concert or something, he would be bragging about me to all of his fancy office friends. Every tiny achievement, he was very, very proud. So that's definitely encouraged the musical side of things. But I was a jazz singer in my younger days. I'm not really a jazz musician. I could just sound like one, and it was good for Melbourne events. And then I sort of hung up music on the coat hook, and I didn't think it would come back until we started farming, and then inspiration started coming again. So I started doing a bit of country folk.
That's crazy. Like, tell us how that, because when I first listened to your stuff, I thought, like, her voice is it's not really a country. It's more refined, was what I'm trying to say, which is really good. It's a really good juxtaposition. Someone coming from the city and go to the country. A lot of times the country singers come from the country and sing about being in the city, but it's the other way around for you, yeah?
Yes, yeah, and I think it's good to be appreciative of all the things out here. There's the history and the neighbours and the life. It's all fresh. So I'm finding myself being amazed and astounded by even just like the resilience of the people, how tough the women are, all the things that people have experienced. And I think that's where a lot of the songs are coming from. And in terms of the sound, I think I had a very strict and wonderful voice teacher that made sure I always sounded clean and nice.
Your diction is really precise, I've noticed.
Yes. My teacher, his name is John Lander. He was a classical voice teacher, and he was very strict.
Look, reading reading part of the bio, the word when it said Judith Durham, and I heard it, it's like that same sort of. It's not the phrasing, but it's the tone. It's the Judith Durham tone. It's a very nice, warm, rounded jazz. Quite a familiar tone, I thought. But like as I listened to the production of Dig, which is it's the song we're first talking about today, and I thought the lyrics, and I'm still on Braggie Slater tonight, that as I was listening to the lyrics, as we started to hear more about dig as a metaphorical digging, as opposed to like a literal digging. And I thought it was really interesting as the song grew on. The folk component of it tied very much comfortable. I could hear like a touch of the Irish folk as opposed to straight country, but it had country, and it did have a beautiful, lush production. I thought that sounded lovely and big and warm and fat too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell us about, because when I first listened to it, Ally, I as before I read your bio, I like to just listen first. I thought, oh, this sounds like she's singing about someone in the family who's maybe a FIFO worker and working in a mine. They're going away. But then I read your thing and I saw you like Ballarat, and so then gold came into the equation. Tell us about what this song's about.
Yes, I think our journey into farming sort of captures the essence of this song. I was inspired by the gold miners of like the gold rush era, and I liked how they would come from Ireland or China or wherever they'd come from, just on the idea that there was gold, and so they would put their life on the line and do this crazy, adventurous, courageous thing, like amongst growing unrest and in a very harsh climate, even without guarantee of success. And I think I liked that. And I thought, that's kind of like what we did. We just took the bull by the horns and decided to become sheep farmers. And you've got to dig down deep to like provide the resilience and strength you need for life. And so it became a lot deeper, so to speak, as the song went on.
Dig down, deep down, dig down, deep down. Dig down, deep down, dig down, deep.
Dig in the valleys, dig in the gullies, wade through the creeks and the great rivers flow. Dig in the plains and dig in the rains, dig down through the ground below. Dig for your country, dig for your family, dig for your children, dig for your wife, dig for your friendships, dig through the hardships, dig down through the pain and strife. If the big corporations are hounding and the white collar comforts are tempting and the soft timid man says sleep while you can, the man in the arena says broaden your plans, throw yourself out into the unknown lands, dig down through the dirt and the stone and the sand, and the gold is in the pockets of a man who has hard hands. Dig down,
Yeah, that makes sense. Why this decision then to up stumps and like obviously someone must have had some experience in this. You just didn't. No, both of you.
No, my husband is a pioneering dreamer type person, and he was a carpenter in Melbourne, and he wasn't happy. Like he was 23 and already peaked in his career as a carpenter. You know, there's only so much you can get paid per hour unless you want to become a builder. He's at the top of his game at 23, and that just wasn't enough for him. He needed to go on some wild adventure, and he had so many different ideas. And then we put some cows on a family property, and we liked that we were growing good food and learning about the soil and the pasture and how you can grow good food. And we decided to look into it a little bit more. And then we had this opportunity to lease a big sheep farm south of Ballarat, and we just went for it.
Wow, that's crazy brave.
Right.
Crazy brave.
It is.
Yeah,
And
it was good. We know a little bit now, but there's still a lot to learn.
and such a shift, because you were singing at Crown Casino, weren't you? And all of a sudden you've gone from like the center of Melbourne, the place to be, to
more glitz than glitz.
To running a sheep farm. It's just incredible. It really is. I'm going to share something that I sort of felt when I first started listening to your music too, Ali. And I don't know if the boys will laugh at me with this. They often do. Probably. When I get my thoughts. But I'm hearing Kate Bush in your lyrics. You know, I'm hearing a bit of Wuthering Heights. So, they've gone silent. So that means
no.
Where's Curly going now?
I'm processing.
Yeah, no, I've heard that actually a lot. People have mentioned. I think it's the I don't know. Is it the landscape imagery and the sort of big classical type sound?
Yeah.
People are reminded of Kate Bush, and I'm a fan, so I'm happy with that comparison.
I think it's I love that idea of sorry, Curly. You're
right. It's a real traditional style, isn't it? It's the old bush ballad. You get the visions of, that. To me, it's like what was that movie Nicole Kidman was in? Australia.
Great movie, I thought.
Yeah, and
Great
you get the visions of it could easily have been created in that time moment, and as opposed to now as well. So very. You don't hear it much, Ali. But so I guess my question to you is
it gives it a bit more of dramatic.
Yeah, it's very cinematic. That's True.
Yeah, there you go.
Where do you hope that it sort of fits within or sits within the music? Because nothing's going to ever fit. But where does it sit for you in the country music scene?
I'm not making anything to fit anything. I'm just writing songs that I like and singing how I sing and letting Matt Fell make the songs sound great, and then trying to figure out how to market that. So I'm a fish out of water. I'm very new and just learning about the industry now, wondering how on earth anybody makes any money, but doing it as almost a labor of love, like what you guys are doing here with this podcast. It's something beautiful to have something have inspiration for something beautiful and create it, even though there's no reward yet as such. It's a good thing to do, isn't it? So yeah, I don't know where it fits. I call it country folk because it's about rural Australia, and it sounds kind of folky, but I don't know where it fits. I don't know where I fit at all, but I guess I'll find out.
I like Curly's idea of the bush balladeer. Now, so
Yes.
like I guess you've come out of the gate pretty hard doing it. Like you've dropped a John Williamson cover as well. Yeah, which is
big fan.
very very important part of that sort of discourse, right? The John Williamson's work has covered a lot of territory, right, Braggy?
Yeah, well, he's someone that's hard to place in a genre as well. I mean, I don't
That's
think
right.
he's more folk than he is country.
Mm.
But why did you choose that song? That places up my way in South Australia.
It's a deep dive. It's a deep dive. That one, deep cut.
That's
Yeah,
that's up in the Flinders Ranges, which is beautiful. Have you been up there? Obviously, you have.
I haven't been, which is the worst thing ever. It's the first on my bucket list, and I've seen lots of pictures. No, but it's I don't know what captured me about that song. I think I liked the description of the rugged terrain mixed with the joy and resilience of the people within that. And I think Dig is similar in that way. But I love the energy of the song, and I love the imagery of the song. So every time it came on, I just think, oh, this song's just great. I would love to cover it. And so that's what we did. And it's a little bit not as well known as some of his others, but I think it's a great song.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Parachilna, Prairie Hotel Parachilna, where you won't grow no roses, but all the women try. West of the Flinders Ranges, she's watching all the strangers, building rubble shelters, but making no impression. On a land so old and fragile, its bones are poking through, and its flesh is blowing all the way to Sydney. I'm talking about Parachilna, Prairie Hotel Parachilna, where dust like talcum powder finds its way inside you and settles on your mantle, makes muddy tears from crying, looking at faded hoses like snakes out in the garden. The beds are blowing all the way to Sydney. They're dancing and they're singing all around the bar. There's nothing like a beer to wash it down. Batten down the hatches, the wind is getting stronger. Looks as though we're staying in tonight. I'm talking about Parachilna.
That's an incredible part of the world. I've never seen so many stars in my life when I went up there. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get away from those city lights and you get amazed at what happens with the sky, don't you? Interestingly enough, the Outback Marathon is on this weekend, and I've been there twice, and they do a dinner on the Sunday night after the marathon, and they do a light show. And basically, they've got all these floodlights. You're out in the middle of nowhere. You're watching the sun set over Uluru, and then they will turn the lights off. And like you're in the middle of nowhere, there's fluoros and spotlights everywhere. You've got a great range of stars, and then all of a sudden they'll turn everything off, and it's just mind blowing how much more you can see. It's incredible.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
That sounds beautiful.
Yeah,
absolutely. Hey, I've got a question. Sorry, you go.
No, go right ahead. No, you go, Curly. You go right ahead.
All right. So, I guess we talk to a lot of country artists, and there's a real flow now that what I'm seeing is that people are really aiming for that authentic self. I'm creating music that fits with me. I'm not trying to fit into the genre, but you've also got the cookie cutter aspects of some of the fresh country that's coming through. So I guess from your perspective and being new to the game, what does actual success look like for you, Ali? Like, is it to be true to yourself and maintain that, or is it, do you have visions for where you're going with this, or have you thought about what does success actually look like?
Yeah, I have thought about it a little bit. Music is just one piece of a lot of things that I really love doing. So my most favorite thing in the world is art, and I'm working on a few projects there as well. And I think it should eventually all tie together. But I've got 4 little babies at home. We've got a farm. I'm just focusing on doing the best that I can with those things. And because I'm getting inspiration for songs, I'm just sort of releasing them as I go, hoping to build a little bit of an audience by the time I have an album ready. And then one day I would love to be able to go on a trip around Australia every 5 years. I don't have pie in the sky ideas. I would just love to have enough of an audience that we could have a wonderful experience touring and sharing songs and stories together. My husband and I and my kids, I don't love crowds. I don't have visions of arenas singing my lyrics back to me or anything like that. I just love the beauty of the country that we live in, and I want to capture that and share that.
Oh, wow.
Is there, that's perfect. Is there any places you can gig where you live now? Like just small
there's so many places. I just don't have time. I could gig at all the local pubs. I'm sure they'd be really happy to have me. I just haven't. I haven't gigged in a long time, and I'd have to firstly get up to scratch. At the moment, I'm just putting myself out there to be a support act for some of my favorite artists, and I sort of think, I'll work on some acoustic covers, and hopefully some opportunities will come to perform again. But it's not top priority at the moment.
It's interesting. I spoke with Olive May. She was our last episode, and she and her family set off for a 7-month tour in a caravan, right? And she played 50 gigs in that time, 7 months around Australia. So, and that's coming from the southwest part of WA. So it's a very similar sort of a dream, and she's quite a similar sort of an artist too, a bit of a folk inspired, not as traditional keeps coming up in my mind when I think about your music, Ali, and I don't mean that to be any sort of criticism at all. It's just it's a traditional bush ballady thing. It's just it's beautiful, but it's amazing. That's 2 people in a row that I've heard that have a very similar dream. They just want to get out there and travel Australia. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, I think the folk aspect of it is really kind of what I find the most charming. Well, like we talk to a lot of country acts, and it's a very broad church. Trad country, rock country, pop country, all sorts. For a period of time, I think we went 6 months where every week someone had mentioned Taylor Swift. We haven't heard that name for a while, but true. It's kind of like I like the leaning into the folk stuff, because I think it seems to be more Australian or trad Australian than some of the other country stuff we hear. Not that there's anything wrong with any of that, but like the folk nature of it actually, so you touch a little bit on the Irish balladeer and the bush ballad. I can hear a bit of that in there. And like I see, I'd read that you studied to be a history teacher, and you've done a whole lot of different things, and art as well as being part of it. And then
you're a Renaissance woman, Ali.
Yeah. It's a whole. It's this whole other world. Woman. Yeah, and
that's it.
I'm here to tell you, Ali, touring's overrated.
No, I totally get it.
but not touring the country though, Rossi. Seeing the place. Look, I think so you play guitar? Yeah,
I do not.
Is that
I play the piano.
You do? Oh, you play the piano, and you're classically trained in the piano. See, I like this classic.
Yes, but I'm not very good.
Bringing that to country. I don't know if that's been done before. like
Look,
bringing
there's first time
the
for
jazz
everything.
perspective to country.
Yeah, I'm honestly a hopeless jazz musician. Other than I can sound like one when I sing. In terms of the theory and improvisation and writing, I can't even start with jazz. But no, I can hash out some chords and I write on the piano, and I let Matt make my songs sound pretty. But I need to work on the piano and the guitar so that I can actually perform and not be rubbish.
Okay. I know a jazz musician who won Lotto. They asked him what he was going to do with the money. He said, "I'll just keep on doing gigs till it runs out."
Ali,
I was just going to ask, when do you find time to write, Ally, then?
Yeah.
It comes in waves. You really got to. I need the headspace for it. I can't really do it on the fly. So if I get an idea for a song and it's sort of niggling at me, I need to lock myself away and let the housework go for a little bit, so that I can get a few things down, and then it's kind of evolves over time. But I haven't written in a little while because this has been a lot going on. But yeah, I've got so many ideas, and I think if I sat down for half an hour and thought about it, I'd have 4 or 5 songs going again. You just need to, sit down and do it.
Okay.
So I love the sound of the records that I've heard so far. What's your production process? I guess like you got a team. Who do you work with, and how does that come together for you?
Yeah, I'm relying very heavily on Matt Fell. He's the producer of the song, and he's taken a lot of the heavy lifting creatively because I'm so new. I can say I picture, like with Dig, I picture a very big production. I picture like a choir of male voices, but that's pretty much all I could tell him. The rest was him putting the layers down and me saying, yes, I like that. Can we lean more into this? He played all of the instruments other than the drums and the backing vocals and the guitar solos. So it's all him in the studio, just creating magic out of very little. So that's the creative process so far. But as we go, I'm sure I'll get better at figuring out how to describe what I'm picturing and working a little bit more collaboratively in that way.
How did that relationship with Matt come about? Because we're starting to hear his name quite a bit with country artists, and there's a couple of really key ones around, and Matt seems to be someone that we're hearing more about. So how did that? Because he's Tasmania, is he based in
Yes.
Tassie?
Yeah, he's got his studio down in Tassie. When I'd written a couple of songs, my husband was badgering me to record them. And we knew we wanted to do it properly. And we've got a lot of family and friends who do a bit of recording and producing on the side. But I wanted someone that was in the industry and someone who was going to do a really good job of it and do it quickly. Because sometimes, you get a favor from a friend and they take, 3 months to produce a song or whatever. But I Googled all of my favorite country artists, all of my favorite songs, and I saw that Matt Fell produced nearly all of my favorite songs in that scene. So I gave him a call, and he was amazingly, he's a very busy man, but I must have got him on a quiet month because he was happy to work with me. It was very nice.
Yeah, he's got a pretty impressive discography, hasn't he? Like everybody who's everybody, which is, and it shows because like you get what you pay for. It's good, great sounding record.
Yeah.
Well,
and so job. Too, like, he works so quickly.
Technically, what he's doing is taking the things out of your head, and making them and manifesting them, which is think about that. That's a hard thing to get right.
Yeah,
it is, and his connections of musicians too. I would never have been able to come up with somebody to play a guitar solo like that, for instance.
Yeah,
or the drums. The people he works with are so top tier that I'm very grateful to have him on leading the charge in that way.
We do like guitars here, and that's a ripper of a solo, I will say. It stood out to me. Yeah.
Yes, Jeff King in Nashville did that one, and he's a musician who works with, again, all of the greatest people, and he does guitar solos for a living. So
that's how the modern world goes. Yeah, you get a Nashville session player on your Tasmanian producer's record. Like, that's unreal.
That's amazing. Great. That is
that's
so
how it
cool.
works. Digital studios are just so different to how it used to be.
I know.
That's cool. That's very, very cool. So, like, I guess Now, 4 young kids, you've got a sheep farm. Socials are far from your mind. Is that, like taking you to the dentist doing your socials?
I've got a lovely lady helping me with my socials. So she's been doing all of my song release campaigns and then setting me up so that I can keep them ticking in between times. And I'm getting a little bit more confident and better at doing all of that. It's a little bit of an unfortunate necessity, but also a very useful tool. Does not spark joy in any way, shape, or form, but it's also sometimes really beautiful. I've made some lovely connections, and people love the fun content. So there's a lot to work with, which is good.
Yeah, you hit your niche and you go for it, right?
Yeah.
Socials, that's the go.
I love the little post you did around Farmer Wants a Wife. So I thought that was pretty unique and pretty cool. So well done on that one.
That was my first viral video. They got 1.7 million views, that one.
It's wild when that happens, isn't it? It's utterly wild.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I wish we could do
not
that.
music related, but how many dogs do you have?
We're down to 5. We had 7 not long ago, but we're down. We've got 3 working dogs and 2 big old hairy staghounds that sleep in front of the fireplace.
Awesome.
Which your track "Working Like Dogs" was your first original recorded music. So, and once again, I quite enjoyed that song, Ali. So tell me a little bit about where the inspiration for that song came.
I wrote that song in one of the busiest times of our whole life. We were just working so hard on the farm and everything seemed to be going wrong, and we still didn't really know how to work the sheep properly, and we were having barneys in the sheep yards every other day. We tried to have a paddock to plate boxed meat enterprise as well, which was good to try, but just so much work and margins were slim and we were so tired. And then I just took inspiration from the dogs and their work ethic. And the song is about, it's tough and it's hard, but we can do it together, which is what we've wanted to do with our lives. We don't want to be ships in the night, my husband and I. We want to be able to actually live and work together. And how beautiful is it that we can do that? And also look at the dogs and look at their work ethic and look at their drive, and they're just giving everything to what they do and they love it, and that's what we want to learn. That's what we want to learn, how to approach life that way.
Life on the farm can be tough at times. Working the sheep can be rough at times, but the horizon is vast and the hills are rolling, and I sit round a table with you. Come home and look at the view. We're working like dogs, but the dogs, they are working and living their best life and giving their best, like we're trying to learn how to do. Like we're trying to learn how to do.
That way.
I love how you. I know there's only 3 songs here, but I love how your 2 originals tie in with your life. They're about different things, but they all tie in with your experience of, as we talked before, like jumping in the deep end and having to just swim.
Yes, deep end for sure, and that's why my husband likes the song so much, because it's just about our life, and I don't know whether anyone's going to want to listen to that or not, but it's lovely. I like writing about our life. It's good fun. And my husband likes
you got to write about what you know, huh? You got to write about what you know.
And people will add their story to it when they listen to it, right? So you're writing something very specific and personal, and people will listen to it and say, "Oh, I remember that time where I was working like a dog to get ahead in whatever it was." So, Ali, you mentioned a couple of times today your favorite artists, right? So, but you haven't named anyone yet, but I'm going to force you to now, because if I'm going to put you in a duet with any Australian artist, who would it be and why would you choose that person?
John Williamson, for sure. I'm a big fan, and he's written such a catalogue of songs, and he's written so many of my favourite songs. He just makes me cry so much. And I love his storytelling. I like that he is emulated. I think he's the great bush poet of our time. So I love his work, and I also love Colin Buchanan, his country work. Do you know him?
Yes.
Yeah, big fan of Colin and Sarah Storer. They're my three favorite artists.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, John. I put John Williamson. This is going to sound maybe weird, but I put him in the same category as Australian artists as Paul Kelly.
Yeah.
They're different genres, but they tell those essential Australian stories. Maybe Paul's more from the city, but yeah, they're very, very similar.
It'd be an interesting show seeing them together.
That'd be a show. Yes.
Yeah.
That would be.
It certainly would be. So what's next? So you've got 3 songs out there. Yeah. Sorry, before I do that, is your husband a musician as well?
No. He can hear his voice at the end of Working Like Dogs, singing that last line with me. We tried to get his voice on Dig, but that was a little bit more challenging. But he sings with gusto. No, he's not musical.
I've got a question then about that. Is he good? Like, who hears the song first when you've written it, and is he a good critic? Will he tell you when it's not good, or will he always?
Yeah. He's poo-pooed a lot of my ideas, and then I get all offended, and then I think about it, and I go, he's actually right. He's got actually a very good ear. He's got a poetic mind and a very good ear. He knows when something's authentic or not, and sometimes, because my parents are from New Zealand, sometimes something will sound a little bit too fancy or English. He'll be like, no, we don't say that here. This is what we say. So he helps me stay authentically Australian, and he'll help me, and I'll sing a song to him, and he'll say, I love it, except something about this particular line wasn't quite right, and I'll go, I know I'm having trouble with that line, and so we come up with solutions together. So he's really great. A really great sound.
You don't go, shut up, you do it.
That's a big asset
to have. A few times.
Does he get a songwriting credit when he helps you with a line?
Certainly not. No.
Absolutely not.
No way.
All right. So
what's mine is his anyway.
That's right.
All right. So what's next for you? So I'm just blown away by your story. You know,
that's a ripper.
Yeah, it is. So is there an album coming up? Is there gigs coming up? Are you going to take that caravan around Australia, or how can fans? Can they come and see you and support you? What's in the future for you?
I am working on an album. It might take a little while, but I'm just going with the slowly but surely approach. I think I'm going to try and release a song every 4 months or so, and then eventually release an album. And seeing how each song grows. So we're putting a little bit of effort behind the campaigning for each one. It's going well so far. Like, nobody knows who I am, but slowly, audience is growing. And the song, each time I release a song, it goes a little bit further. So I guess we'll see where we're at by the time the album comes around. And hopefully we'll be working on some other creative projects as well, which are very, for me, very exciting. I hope that it all ties in together. But in terms of gigs, it's a watch this space. I'll let you know. and Instagram and Facebook is a good way to keep in touch if you want to follow the journey.
Excellent.
Yeah. Please come back on when you feel the need. Come talk to us again. Yeah. Keep doing what you're doing, for sure.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to follow the path, isn't it, guys?
It is.
I love it. Yeah.
And I think it's good that you're aiming for an album, and even though you're doing a single every four weeks, you've got a vision around what that album, no doubt, is going to look, sound, feel like, and we love that, because we were raised in a generation where you flipped an actual vinyl record, you'd put it on, you'd sit down there was anticipation around it, and so we love albums. So
Yeah, I love an album too. I love the product of it and the thought behind it, and everyone has a theme. Yeah, I can't. I think it's going to be amazing. I don't know what it's going to be like yet. Yeah, I love it.
It's a nice slow thing in a fast world. I love it.
Yeah. Every now and again, you do just have to slow down. So we will make sure that we've put your songs on our playlist. That's Unfiltered and Undiscovered Every Damn Song. And we have a Fresh Country Artist playlist as well. So we'll make sure that you go on those. We'll have your links in our show notes so that people can follow you and check in. And we're going to follow your journey with gusto. And as you bring your music out, please remember that you're always welcome on Unfiltered and Undiscovered, Ali.
Thank you so much, and thanks for what you do as well. It's a very beautiful thing, and every little bit just helps the music go that bit further, and it's so appreciated.
Thank you for saying that. We love what we do. So for everyone out there, next week we have got John Stokes returning on the show. He's got an album out, so we're going to have a chat with him about his new album that's come out. If you've enjoyed today's conversation, the best way to support independent artists is really simple. Stream their music, buy their merch, go to their gigs, and tell someone about them, because every great artist starts with someone who's willing to press play. So check out our playlist on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and Amazon Music. Every Damn Song, Fresh Country Artist. And we also have Undiscovered Covers, which I might add your John Williamson cover to that particular playlist as well. And you can follow the links on our websites. We're Curly, Braggy, and Rossi, and this has been Unfiltered and Undiscovered. We will see you all again next week. Bye for now. Thanks, Ali.
Thanks, Ali.
No worries. Thank you so much.
cool.
That was a lovely
Wrap
chat.
for this episode of the Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast. If you've liked what you've heard, please do us a favor. Hit follow, leave a rating, and share it with a mate who needs some new music and a little bit of laughter in their lives. We're all about discovering the songs that actually mean something. So if you're into raw talent, great stories, and music that hits you right in the guts, you're in the right place, and we'd love to see you back again next week. Don't forget our Spotify playlists, every damn song, every track we've ever talked about, rising female country artists, and undiscovered covers. And just now, they're not just available on Spotify. You'll also find them on YouTube Music and Apple Music as well. Now, we will be back next week with more music, more stories, and probably some more arguments. But that's what keeps us unfiltered. We'll see you next week.